One subject that Charlotte included in her schools was singing. And it's a subject that some homeschool families are not quite sure how to incorporate, but it can add so much richness to your homeschool and to your family. We're going to discuss all the advantages of putting singing into your homeschool. Welcome to the Simply Charlotte Mason podcast. I'm Sonya Schaefer. Joining me today is my friend and co-worker, Christy Hissong. Christy, thanks for being with us again.
Thanks for having me.
We want to talk about singing. And I know this is a subject dear to your heart. And let's just put it out there. A lot of homeschool families, I get the impression at least, they are not quite sure how to incorporate singing into their homeschool, especially Charlotte did solfege. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when you're trying to sing in parts, here's the problem. We all have the Von Trapp family in our heads, and we're thinking we're not measuring up to the sound of music. So help us with this whole topic of singing in the homeschool.
Well, one thing we have that the Von Trapps did not have is the internet.
That is true. Yes.
And there are lots of videos with people actually singing on them. So you sing with people who can actually sing.
So you don't have your voice
Right.
exposed, as it were,
Right.
if you're self-conscious about it or timid about it.
Because if you're self-conscious or timid, your children will be.
That's a very good point. So tell me a little bit about why you include singing. What are the advantages? And also tell me, well, keeping in mind the time limits we have, but also about how you incorporated singing. Just tell us everything you can remember from your experience homeschooling. And let me just mention, you have one child that you homeschooled.
I do.
So it's not like you had a choir at home.
I did not have a choir at home.
Okay. All right. So lay it out there. Give us some ideas.
Well, I am a singer. I love to sing. I have always sung. And so it was a natural thing for us to do. We sing while we do the dishes. We sing while we do laundry. We sing while we're vacuuming. We sing during bath time. All times we were singing. And so it came very naturally to us. The hymns and folk songs that the Charlotte Mason method brings in are just a natural. And there's so many great renditions of them on the internet. So, of course, we did the hymns and the folk songs and loved them. Another thing that you don't think of about singing is with composer study. So many of the Bachs and the Vivaldis, they were written, a lot of them for choral. And so there are actually words to them. So I can remember my son was just enamored with Jesu, joy of man's desiring. And he would sing it. He would climb up to the top of the tree and just sing it to the neighborhood like he was saying his creed. And he wanted to call a friend one day and wish her happy birthday. And so I thought he was going to sing the happy birthday song. And he burst into Jesu joy. And we were also walking into church one day, and there was a huge pipe organ in the front of the church. And he came in the back door and just began running up the aisle. He was about 4 years old. Jesu joy! And singing. Johann Sebastian Bach. He had made a connection with that music and with that composer, and so that was dear to my heart.
So with the singing of the hymns and the folk songs especially, I know composer study is scheduled in your school time. Did you have a separate singing schedule into your planning time there? Like, we are going to sing a hymn on this day and this day, plus all the spontaneous? Or did you just do the spontaneous singing to make it part of your family?
We did it any time and all times. We had a special time for hymn, special time for folk song. It's really interesting. I teach at Oak Cottage, which is a Charlotte Mason homeschool enrichment program, K through 12, and I teach high school. So we had our first graduating class, and one of the things that those students wanted to do for graduation was, first they wanted to be knighted on top of a mountain. And then, so of course we had to make that happen. And then they wanted a bonfire where they could sit around and sing all their favorite hymns and folk songs from the years they'd been at Oak Cottage. So it's community building, it's memory making, and especially in your family, it can be so meaningful and bring an intimacy with your family. We can be somewhere and all I have to do is hum 3 little notes, and everyone in my family, that takes them back to a time, a place, a memory, a music-making memory.
That's interesting because it just dawned on me. I have that kind of connection with my kids with certain literature books. You know, like we were sitting in church and someone mentioned a line, just a phrase, that was from a literature book that we loved, and we all just immediately looked at each other and, you know, that camaraderie, that kindred spirit right there. But because it was something we had shared. But singing almost takes it to another level because everybody has to contribute to that experience. It's not just, I will read and you will listen. It is
true.
Everyone lends their voices and their hearts to this. So that almost deepens the experience.
More senses you can bring into any experience.
Yes,
the better.
yes. Wow. What else do you want to tell us about singing?
Well, I do believe that any opportunity you can take to enjoy together live music, whether that's in church, in your worship service, or community theater, musical theater. We live in the mountains of Tennessee, and there's so bluegrass and old-time country music is very important. And so there's a venue called the Carter Fold that everybody in our community goes to a lot, and they have big-name groups come in, and everyone dances or claps and sings. Oh, that's the other thing. The more you can get your body involved with the singing,
More senses, yeah.
the better it is. And so that's whether it's something cultural about where you live or the symphony, any live music. There's something about it that is very engages more of the senses and is more memory making.
Yeah, I know you can listen to a symphony orchestra playing something over a speaker system, and that's one experience. But if you go to it live, for some reason it just resonates in your body, it reverberates through your whole body, and talk about senses included. That just, it's a whole different experience.
It is.
It's really fascinating. You think, well, I'll just turn up the volume on the speakers and I'll get that reverberation, but it's not the same.
No. And even with composer study, without the music, the singing, the verses, the 1812 Overture, that was another one that just struck my son for whatever reason. And I went to the mailbox one day, and I could hear the 1812 Overture just blasting all over the neighborhood. And I went in, and he had opened up his window and put his little boom box up there and just turned it up to full volume. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Everybody needs to hear this." So it's just, it can be a memory making and just a sense of inspiration and something that your family wants to share with others. And then if you are a singer, if you are able to sing, that's even better if you can participate in making music yourself with a group of people. Oh, there's nothing like that. Nothing.
I love when, especially like church choirs, involve all ages. That it's not, you have to be this tall in order to participate, but the whole family can be included. And I think it would also help respect the child as a person. For example, if one child perhaps has a problem with speaking, but they can sing, honoring that in that child would go a long way, I think, toward encouraging them and helping them to grow as a person, that type of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what kind of encouragement can you give someone who maybe is hesitant about incorporating singing in their homeschool? Maybe they haven't done it up to this point because it's just one of those things, I don't know about that.
Well, hymns and folk songs, can't emphasize those enough. They just get a place in your heart. And you don't have to sing it yourself. You can look at the internet. There are so many. If you just set aside a time, be sure you schedule a time, and look for your resources beforehand so that you're not caught off guard and you're not sitting there looking for your resource and the clip you want to listen to.
Yeah, it's so easy when you're in the moment and, oh, just a second, kids, I need to find something. And, no, that's not it. No. Never mind. Let's just move on.
Right.
It's so easy to do if you're not prepared.
Yes, and it doesn't take long, so you don't have to do the actual singing yourself. You can just, like learning with your children, you can sing with your children.
That's great. Thanks so much.
Yep.
If you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.